Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amari Khalid. If you're new, if you're not new, thank you so much for being here and welcome back. So I want to go over some of the things that I invest in to live a healthy lifestyle. When I say invest, I mean time and money. How I spend my time and money to live a healthy lifestyle. About 6 years ago, when I first started my journey with fitness itself, like just working out, it was all about weight loss. I had gained maybe 20 to 30 pounds from college, eating out a lot. What's funny is I'm that same weight now, but my body composition looks totally different. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so I started my weight loss journey and then I went into nutrition because I learned like you can't out train a bad diet. I was still bloated. And then I got into my spiritual journey, which my spiritual journey really started when I was in high school, when I got baptized towards the end of high school, and then kind of like fell off from it. So yeah, got back into my spiritual journey. And then I also started my healing journey. I learned a lot about my past and trauma and things like that. So I went on this whole journey of healing when I was in college. And then once I graduated, I went on an even deeper journey when it comes to healing. And of course, we're always growing and healing as we experience things in life. We will always be healing from things that we had to let go, people we've had to let go, jobs we've had to let go, all the things that we will experience in life. So we will always be on a continuous journey of healing and growing, but specifically there were things that I wanted to let go of and just, not let have so much control over my life. So I'm going to tell you guys some of the things that I do on a daily basis to be an overall healthy individual and to prioritize my overall wellness and not just one aspect. And I believe that every human, every person should strive for this. Obviously, I'm not perfect. Obviously, I'm not at my end all be all, but I will happily and confidently say like I'm an overall healthy person. Like I do my best to spend my time doing things that are pouring back into me or other people and are not draining me. And I just seek to be at a place where I'm at peace, where I have some equilibrium, and where I am just content and I feel great on the inside. So first thing, so I invest time into reading books so that I can expand my mind and continue to grow. So the book I'm reading right now, The Body Keeps the Score, I'm pretty sure I've showed you guys this book because I have been reading this book for a long time. As y'all can see, it's pretty thick, but I will admit that I'm not as consistent with reading and I don't read as much for a period of time. Like I feel like I really should be reading like 30 minutes a day, but I'll like read maybe like 5 to 10 pages just depending on what time I have to read. But this book is about healing the body and the mind from trauma. So I'm learning right now the science behind trauma. And then towards the end of the book, I will get into like the practices of healing. So yeah, I love this book so far. And as you guys know, my long-term goal, or you may not know, but my goal is to become a therapist. And so I am investing in that now by reading books about it and obviously going through my own healing journey. So yeah, you need to be reading. You don't just stop learning when you graduate college or high school. So let's just put that out there. We should all be continuing to expand our mind and, continuing to learn and seeking knowledge and not just taking in what we receive on social media. You also want to fact check what you see on social media and do your own research to make sure that things are factual. There is research behind it. There's some truth behind it. So yeah, you want to be a well-rounded person where you know a lot about different things. So yeah, make sure you're reading on a daily basis or at least a weekly basis. Find things that interest you. Don't just read things because social media said read them. Read books that actually, especially nonfiction books. I know people read fiction, but if you're reading nonfiction books, which you should be because that's the whole point of what I'm saying, make sure that isn't something that you are interested in or want to learn more about. Okay, the next thing, I invest my money and time into grocery shopping so that I will cook more meals at home, so that I'm eating high protein meals that are good for my gut, and meals that support my fat loss / being in a slight deficit for a little while. and in my current journey with my fitness. So yeah, I grocery shop every week. I get fruits every week, vegetables, meats, yogurt, almond milk. Like I invest about $200 a week on groceries because I mean, truth is, yeah, like groceries are expensive now. I buy 18 packs of eggs or 18 count of eggs because I eat eggs pretty much every single day. And they get gone pretty quickly. And a 18 pack is about $10. I also buy a carton of egg whites. So that's like $5 to $6 extra. So just that's $20 alone just on eggs. So yeah, groceries are are expensive, but at the same time, I would rather spend my money on that than spend my money on fast food. Even if it's $20 a day, I may come out cheaper, but the long-term effects of eating out is not good. Especially because it's not just me, it's me and my husband. So when we eat out, we're spending double every day. So yeah, who finna be spending all that money on groceries? So yeah, I mean, or eating out. So yeah, I invest money into cooking more meals at home, and my snacks are at home, so I buy protein bars. Of course we eat out. I'm not saying I don't eat out, but I just don't eat out a lot. I definitely make sure that I cook more meals at home so that I'm eating foods that are clean, they're not overly processed, they don't have all these chemicals and sugars and sodium in them. I'm able to control how much sugar and salt goes into everything. So yes, if you want to be a overall well person, you want to have a great healthy lifestyle, cook more meals at home. One thing that I have gotten better at least I did the past week, I did an online pickup order, and I only ordered what I knew I was going to cook. Because sometimes I'll buy things, like say for instance, I might buy some tortilla wraps, but I may not even make wraps that week. So I wasted like money on that because wraps do expire quickly. And so yeah, last week I like planned out my meals, and then I picked out my groceries on Publix website on the online pickup, and then I picked them up. So like I didn't buy anything that I have not used. So that actually did help me save some money. So yeah, that's going to be my new routine when it comes to groceries. But yeah, find systems and routines that work for you. But moral of the story is that you want to feel good on the inside. And what you guys don't know is that your gut health is directly correlated to your brain. So if you're eating junk food, a lot, heavily processed foods, that is going to affect your gut health, which will then affect your mood, your energy, your mindset, and it's just not going to be a healthy way of living on a daily basis. So yeah, make sure you're investing time into cooking and money into buying healthier foods. Next thing, so I invest time into going to church. I listen to sermons, and I also do Bible studies. So the point of that is so that I will be growing spiritually, because that is number one for me. So right now I'm following this Bible in 52 weeks plan. It's a year-long Bible study for women, and basically it's a Bible study every week, and it has, so day 1 through 6, they give you scriptures to read. So I think right now I'm in Proverbs and Second Chronicles. So it's kind of going in order, but it's kind of not. Like, of course, I started out in Genesis, and I'm working my way through the Old Testament, and then towards the end, obviously, New Testament. So, and I think I've pretty much been in the Old Testament so far. And so basically, you read a certain amount of chapters a day. So, like, yesterday I read chapters 18 through 21. So that's what, 18, 19, 20, 21, 4 chapters, which doesn't take a lot of time. And then there's a passage over here. And then there are some questions here. So I'll read the questions and kind of reflect on them, but usually I don't do the questions until the last day of the week. But this is what I've been doing for the entire year of 2025 to just grow spiritually and have some type of plan for how I'm reading the Bible. I'm also very heavy into reading the Bible scripture of the day when I wake up in the morning, and as y'all can see, I got a streak up here. I don't know if you can see the streak, but it's at 66. So every day I open up my app when I wake up in the morning, obviously after I say my prayer, and I'll read the verse of the day. Sometimes I'll even go and read the entire chapter. But yeah, that's just one of the ways that I keep my mind focused on God. And I just continue to feed my spirit with the words of God. And then, like I said, I do go to church. This summer has been kind of crazy with all the traveling, but my goal this month is to go to church every Sunday. And of course, going to church does not make you a better person. It does not make you the best Christian, nothing like that. But basically, I like to go to churches to be in that atmosphere. If you find a church home where you actually like your pastor, you believe in what they stand for, and you trust your pastor, then church is not such a bad thing. So yeah, we love going to church. It's our way of kind of resetting for the week, but also just having a strong foundation with our spiritual life and making sure that we're feeding our spirit with, gospel music and, just learning from a spiritual leader and just being on that track of growing spiritually and just being in the presence of God. So to grow spiritually, that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been doing for a long time, and it's what I enjoy. I'm not perfect at it. Sometimes I'll have to read the whole week in one day because I've just been putting it on the back burner, but I've definitely been consistent. As y'all can see, I am more than halfway done. So yeah, make sure, like, if you want to grow spiritually, you're doing things daily or weekly to pour into that. It's not something that you can be passive about whatsoever, especially in today's time. So be very intentional about your spiritual growth if you want to be an overall well person. Next thing, and y'all know I don't play about this, so I invest a lot of time and slick money into making sure that I get my steps in, and I strength train 4 days a week. So that is my current workout routine. I love it. I strength train 4 days. The other days I'm focused on cardio. So steps is very important to me. I have a daily step goal of at least 10,000 steps, but right now, since I am in a bit of a fat loss phase and a little bit of a deficit, I do try to make sure that I get in a little bit more. So I am doing a little bit more cardio. But like I said, I invest time into that. That's something that is a non-negotiable. Like, the thing is with strength training and like going to the gym, it's a no-brainer. It's not even something that I have to fight with. It's just so natural for me to do it. So I'm trying to build up that same habit and discipline with everything in my life. But yeah, so I get my steps in. I love to walk, even if it's just on the treadmill. And that's also how I get in my reading. So I'm habit stacking. But also, like I said, I do strength train 4 days a week. I have a membership at Crunch, which is $30 a month. I have the $30 membership because I like to have access to multiple crunches, because when I go visit my family in Chattanooga, I go to Crunch there. And you can ask my family, I wake up, like I went there 2 weeks ago. I went there for my nephew's birthday and for my brother's going away party. And I woke up the next day and I went to the gym by myself and I loved it. So yes, if you care about your physique, if you care about having strong muscles and wanting to be toned and wanting to be fit, you need to invest time and energy and money into going to the gym and having some type of fitness routine. Like I said, I strength train 4 days a week. That way, those other 3 days, I can really just focus on getting my steps in. I have a full rest day where I don't do any type of exercise. I don't go to the gym, but I am running errands, doing things around the house. Maybe I work that day, so I'm still, moving my body and I'm not super sedentary. So wellness for me is very, I would say fitness and like just being active is very important to my overall wellness, and that's just something that I don't play about. So if you want to make your wellness a priority, you definitely should be moving your body. Next thing, so I invest time into healing from trauma and just from things that I know are not good for me, whether that's mindsets, habits, bad attitude, X, Y, and Z. That's something that I've been really big on, especially since I've been married. My attitude has been put on a, magnifying glass, I would say. I think, because whatever. Like, I have just been really intentional about how I react to things, just learning a lot about, why I have a bad attitude or why I may be quick to get smart or be sarcastic, and just really healing from that, knowing that it comes from how I was brought up, how I was talked to as a child, and the fact that it's kind of normalized in our culture. So yes, I invest time into healing to do that. I listen to a lot of videos from 1 to 2 people that I consider to be kind of like my spiritual leaders outside of my pastor, who kind of teach about those things. But also this book that I'm reading is definitely helping me with that. Also another book that I read helped me a lot with that. And then I did go to therapy a couple years ago. I did go to therapy last year for a little bit. And then being that I'm a social work major, or my degree is in social work, and I will be getting my master's in it, like I am just very aware of it and I really understand it to a very deep level. It's just putting it into practice. And so yeah, like I have multiple ways that I, go on a healing journey. But also I do want to get back into journaling. That's something that I was very heavy in when I first started healing when I was in college. So yeah, if you want to be a very well-rounded, a calm, a peaceful person, you definitely want to, focus on healing and slowly but surely just overcoming a lot of those obstacles that held you back or maybe caused you to have, negative or toxic attitudes or mindsets. If you want to be an overall, well person who, pours into their well-being, you will nurture your relationships, nurture your mind, and just nurture, how you deal with life's problems. And so you want to be able to react and solve problems in a better way, in a healthy way. And so healing is one of the best ways that you can do that. So yeah, if you're somebody who, you're accountable and you know that you can be the problem sometimes, start your healing journey, maybe go to therapy, maybe talk to your spiritual advisor, spiritual leader, read books about it, listen to videos about it, and just be very intentional with growing. Take your time with it. Don't overdo it. Don't rush it. Don't, have a certain deadline in mind, but just, take it slow and just be intentional about what you're consuming so that you can, change the way you think and how you respond to things, and just how you are emotionally, being emotionally intelligent and being able to regulate how you feel and how you respond to life's problems. So next thing, this is probably one of the biggest things for me. I invest time into my hobbies. So my current hobby is dance. Dance is something that I love. I've always loved it. I've never danced. I mean, as a kid, me and my sister would dance, but like to actually join a dance team or cheerleading team, I never done that. So I go to a dance studio here in Atlanta. I've been going since May, I want to say. So I go there at least once a week. When I first started, I was going 3 times a week, but now with my new schedule, I go at least once a week. That's my goal. But like if there's 2 classes back to back that I want to do, I'll do 2 classes in one day. They're about an hour each. But yes, I invest into my hobbies. I invest time and money because I got to pay for those classes, and time into it because I have to take time to drive to the studio, dance, come back home, or wherever else I got to go. And then I also pour into my dreams. So obviously with me doing this YouTube channel, but I also have a business as a wellness coach. I was more of a personal trainer, but now I've transitioned my business to being more wellness coaching, where we focus on multiple aspects of health and not just going to the gym and eating healthy. We talk about, spiritual health, mental health, and other aspects of your life. So for example, I may talk to you about your hobbies. What are you doing to take care of you? What are you doing to, pour into those things that you used to do when, before you had a family, or, before you went to college, or X, Y, and Z. So yeah, like I have a business that I pour into. I post content. I do things that allow me to be creative. So I definitely believe in, for you to be somebody who prioritizes their wellness, you do things that bring you joy and bring you fulfillment where you're serving other people, because you may not be enjoying that at work. So you got to find an outlet to do that outside of work. And I think and I know that you should be doing things outside of work to fulfill you, because your life shouldn't only be about work and chasing a bag. You should be doing other things to, bring you peace or make you happy, whether that's taking yourself on picnic days, or, taking a dance class, or going golfing, or you start that side business you want to do, or you get you a side hustle like doing Uber. I was doing Uber over the summertime, like just doing things that bring you contentment, bring you joy outside of what you do in your life for work. And lastly, I pour into my solitude, into my mind, into my overall well-being when it comes to how I think and feel on the inside. And what I do to invest in that is I go on solo dates often. I love to do things alone, so I'll go to the grocery store by myself. Like, I am not afraid to do things by myself. Everybody around me know that. I mainly like to just complete tasks by myself. So like cooking, you know, I'm not quick to call people like I used to while I'm cooking or listening, or sometimes I'll put on like my show that I like to watch, or you know, I'll play a video in the background. But usually lately I've been wanting to be more in tune with my mind because I'm making a lot of big decisions right now in my life, and so I'm wanting to just get more in tune with God and get more in tune with, you know, how I really feel on the inside and not taking in so much what the world says. So I think it's very important as an individual that you find solitude. You become comfortable with being alone. You become comfortable with your own thoughts. And so there are daily things you can do for that, such as driving without listening to music, driving without being on the phone, you know, especially if you got to drive, you know, 20 to 30 minutes to work. Use that time to just, you know, be in silence. Maybe you put some meditation music in the background, but really you're just driving in silence. That's one thing that I like to do. I like to sometimes work out without listening to anything, just being in my thoughts and just becoming aware of what I'm thinking about and what I'm feeling emotionally. And then, like I said, I go on solo dates. I'll take myself out to eat. I'll go, you know, maybe if I want to go find something for the apartment or find a new, you know, cloth item, whatever. I'll go to a store by myself instead of always having to do things with somebody else. So yeah, practicing solitude is very important for you to become more in tune with your mind and just not be so caught up in this world and what everybody else got going on and comparing yourself to other people. You're focused on your well-being and how you feel and what you want to do while you're here on this earth. So these are things that I do to invest into my wellness. This may seem like a lot, but really what it boils down to is that I don't spend a lot of time doing things that don't matter. So I'm not on the phone as much. I'm not scrolling as much. I'm not just sitting here watching TV. Like right now, I have a client at 1 p.m. and then I have to be at work at 2:30 p.m. I could have easily like just went to the gym and then kind of just went and laid down and not recorded this video. But I know that I'm going to get out of work late tonight, and so this is something that I really wanted to do. It's something that I want to invest in, and it's something that brings me joy and fulfillment. So yeah, I did it. So it's all about being intentional, prioritizing, and just doing the things. You know, it's either you want it or you don't, and it really boils down to that. So I hope you can take some tips and advice from this video and get some things in mind that you want to do for your own wellness so that you can be a healthy person. You can change your lifestyle. You can start to feel better on the inside, more productive, and you actually get things done that you really want to accomplish. So let me know in the comments some things that you do to prioritize your wellness so that you can live a healthy lifestyle, and I will respond to your comments. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys in the next video.